What's up, party people?
Party on, party people, let me hear some noise.
I'm in the sanctuary today. What I want to do was spend a little bit of time with y'all troubleshooting the basics on an Atari arcade cabinet. Had an individual contact us about a problem he was having with a Centipede Cocktail. Well, Centipede Cocktail arcade game is the exact same setup as your Atari Dig Dug, your full-size upright Centipede, Crystal Castles, you name it, all of your Atari games. I'll just show you the whole kit and caboodle. And if you're wondering, yes, I did get lost in the Gay Dolphin. If you know, you know. All right, here is the inside of our Dig Dug Atari arcade game. And from what I understand was that this individual who has the Cocktail Centipede, he's getting power to nothing. All right, well, that screams a problem here with the power brick initially. You've got your transformer, you got your big blue capacitor. This is unplugged, by the way. And you've got your fuses here. Looking at our multimeter, we want to take it to continuity check right here. There we go. Now, when we touch the two leads together, all right, that's going to tell us if we have continuity or not. First, there is F1 right here. It's in this fuse holder here. It is a 7 amp, 250 volt slow blow. Here it is. Let's check it for continuity. All right, the two leads. Notice how the black lead is resting on the fuse holder. The other lead, the positive lead on the fuse itself. We're not just taking the fuse out and testing here. Ooh, continuity. No, you want to do it in the fuse holder, like so. All right, fuse is good. Let's take a good quick look at the label here on these fuses. F2, F3, F4, F5, and the bottom there, F6. All right, these are all slow blow fuses. F2 is a 4 amp. You can see there, F3 is a 20 amp. F4 is a 4 amp. F5 is a 4 amp. And F6 is a 4 amp. 4 amp, 4 amp, 4 amp, 4 amp, 4 amp. They're all 4 amp except F3, which is a 20 amp. Okay, so that being the case, you got to make sure that you use the correct amperage fuses in this fuse holder. You cannot do a simple observation check on these fuses to determine whether or not they are good. In other words, you can't just look at them and say, oh, it looks good, so therefore it is good. No, no, no. You have to use a multimeter and continuity check to test whether these are good or not. Now let's check F2 through F6. We are going to check these fuses in circuit within the fuse holder with our leads connected to our multimeter, checking for continuity at the fuse holder. It doesn't do you any good to just check continuity across the fuse itself. Whoop-de-doo, that's not telling us the whole story. These fuse holders can become cracked, broken, rusted out, full of grime, crud, 30 plus years of junk buildup in them. You want to make sure that you've got good connectivity across the fuse within the fuse holder. That's what you want to check. F2, good. F3, that's our 20 amp. It's good. F4, good. F5, F6. Our fuses are good. It's the first thing you always want to check when you're having power issues on an Atari cabinet. So the power brick, the fuses, all good. Let's move on to the AR board. Here is the Atari AR board. Stands for Audio Regulator Board. This thing is powered by the power brick. But if we were to bypass the AR board and allow the power brick to power directly the game board here, we'd probably get something that looks like this. Instead, you've got the Atari AR board in the middle of the game board and the power brick. What it does is it regulates voltage to the audio amplifier and to the game board itself. These AR board components can wear out over time. These capacitors, the diodes, the transistors, and sometimes you do have to rebuild these, but for the most part, they're pretty robust and hold up well. How do you tell if this is working correctly or not? You have to check the voltages to the AR board. What I'm going to do now is take you through testing voltages on the AR board. That would be the voltages that this thing is producing to send to the game board. All right, if you look close, you can see what I have done here. The geniuses at Atari Engineering knew that some moron like myself would come along years down the road and fiddle with these things. So they made them, well, accessible to dummies like me. On the AR board, you actually have your test points marked here. I've got a green alligator clip that is clipped to ground, and then I believe it's upside down, but you can see here that 5 volts, that positive 5 volts, that's your main voltage for the board. So to make sure that your game is booting, you gotta have a clean, steady 5 volts. These alligator clips come over here to my leads on the multimeter. Multimeter is set to DC voltage check. We are going to turn the game on. Boom, 5.15. And what we can do is we can come over here and there's a little potentiometer, this little dial right here. And what I'll do is dial it back just a smidge. Whoops, wrong direction. Right there. Look at that. Bam, 5 volts, but one more click up. Yeah, that's fine right there. Just a little bit more juice just to make sure that we don't reboot in the middle of the game. That's the 5 volts. Now, let's check the 10 volts. We now have our positive alligator clip to our positive lead on the 10 volt. Checkpoint, power's on. That's beautiful. Nice. Relatively steady, clean, 10 volts coming off the AR board. All right. And with that test there, we are good with the AR board. We have just checked and verified voltages coming off the AR board. Those are voltages that go to the game board. So once we have taken care of any questions regarding continuity with fuses, the AR board, and the voltage it's providing to the game board, we can simply turn the game on, and there's an LED indicator light right here. That will turn on if the board is getting any power. There it is. It's getting power. The last thing you want to look at, your monitor. And make sure that your monitor is getting power off the power brick. Up here, up here, up here, running into your 120 AC, into your monitor, and there is your telltale sign of a monitor doing something you want it to do, and that is net glow. Those are the specific 4 things you want to check. Fuse continuity, AR board voltage, game board is getting power, we got the LED light on, and then lastly, your net glow on the monitor, which you can see right there. There you go. So, is the game working? Hell yeah, it is.